2 Labor Day surprises in the show. Great values, great offers. Limited time quantity, so stick around. It's going to be a good show. Well, we're going to continue on with a wellness break. Mr. Andrew Lessman, who, as many of you know, if I ever meet you in the street or in the mall or anywhere whatsoever, and you ask me, well, what should I get from HSN? I will always talk about this amazing gentleman and his amazing company that started in 1979. Andrew Lessman has created what I believe to be, and so many of you as well, the world's greatest vitamins that money can buy. Well, tonight for the show, as part of our wellness break, for all the craziness and mayhem of the Labor Day holiday weekend, we have a special offer on his incredible omega-3 supplements. Folks, you can choose which side. We have absolutely everything. The 30 count, the 60 count, the 180 count, limited obviously in the 360 count. Very special pricing. We have great flex pay and free shipping and handling. We want to talk a lot about this and to share some great information, and I'm thrilled to say that Andrew is actually live on the phone right now. Mr. Andrew Lessman, it is so good to have you on the Monday Night Show.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Adam. Hopefully this can become a regular thing.
I would love that, seriously. I mean, Andrew already knows how much I think of him and his amazing products. Andrew, you and I were talking a little bit earlier as we kind of delve into the world of omega-3. We were talking about how important this is for all of us in our diets, and how, quite honestly, over the years, fats have had a bad rap. People are very confused on this subject.
Yeah, and that's really the major takeaway from this broadcast. Isn't so much that you need to buy my omega-3 supplement, but what you need to do is let go of that perception that we all started receiving in the 1960s and even more in the 70s, and even worse in the 80s, and it continued through the 90s, that fat was bad. I remember when I first introduced this product, I had to apologize for it, almost saying, but it's good fats, because somehow we have this perception that all fat is bad, and it's not. And it's something we really need to let go of in terms of heart health. We need to let go of it in terms of brain health. Our brain is principally made of fat, so it's a major disservice. It was driven by absolutely terrible science and terrible research, and unfortunately, people still cling to this concept that fat is what's responsible for heart disease, fat is what's responsible for stroke, and all sorts of issues like that, and it's just not the case. The real enemy of our health and our diet is the over-dependence on processed foods, on carbohydrates, on sugars, and you could almost track the increase in obesity in our country at the passage of the original dietary recommendations that were attached to reducing fat in our diet. Wow. So it's unfortunate. There's just been no real conversation about that. So I thought that's the real important takeaway tonight, is that we should focus on fat in our diet, but make sure we're focusing on not avoiding it, but consuming healthy fat. That even people who consume a diet that's richer in fat and richer in protein, they lose weight or they weigh less than those who might consume the same calories, but in carbohydrates and in sugars. So it's something that is critically important, and there's no more important fat than the omega-3s. And the double unfortunate thing here is, as important as they are the most lacking single dietary fat in the American diet.
Wow.
So it's a sad reality of the American diet, but it's something that it's very easy and very affordable to correct.
And I think that is why, as many of you will see if you go online and read the reviews on, quite frankly, any of Andrew's products, even on this alone, there are close to 3,000 reviews, the majority of which are perfect 5-star. You know, I think a lot of us love that Andrew can be here on the phone, live in person, to talk to us and share with us really important information that a lot of us, I think, are bamboozled with. Many times, a lot of us, as Andrew said, back in the 80s, early 90s, we were so kind of obsessed with fat, and that it was a negative thing, that it was a bad thing. But we happily and easily consume so much of the bad stuff. Andrew, you made a comment earlier to me, and I thought it was really important. You suggested that for a lot of us, when it comes to diet, for those of us that are stuck and confused as to maybe what we should be eating or should be eating, you said kind of look back to nature 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's very funny. one of my best friends, my best friend, is sort of a leader in the whole paleo movement. And although I'm not someone who my dietary recommendations specifically follow the paleo movement, but something I've always said, and it's a very simple rule. If what you eat would have looked the same as it does today several thousand years ago, then in all likelihood it's a healthy food.
Right.
And that's the sort of things, at the moment we start looking at the processed packaged foods, and those processed packaged foods really had their heyday. Their market really exploded with those dietary guidelines. The dietary guidelines that had us consuming all these cookies and crackers and pastas and things that were low-fat yogurt or non-fat yogurt. And unfortunately, the fat is replaced with carbohydrate or sugar to keep the food palatable. But it's those changes that were done supposedly with the interest of our good health that destroyed America's health. And you look at America now, and if you go back when I was a little kid, roughly 10% of America was obese, 20% overweight. Now you're looking at numbers, maybe a little more than that, but now you're looking at numbers that are over 30% obese, which is a staggering number. In some states in America, it's over 40%, with over 70% of Americans overweight. And you could look at the graphs on those numbers, and they really started exploding when these new dietary guidelines were passed. But the real important takeaway here is that fat is our friend. Fat is not our enemy, and fat is not something that makes us fat. Overall calorie count, yes, is relevant, but it's the composition of those calories that is most important. And as we shifted away from a diet that was rich in naturally occurring fats, not trans fats, of course, and we shifted to a diet rich in carbohydrates and sugars, we lost the benefits of omega-3s, which are what comprise our brain, comprise the most fragile part of our eye, the retina. It is the lubricant we find in our joints. It's the radiance. It's the beauty of our skin and hair. We lost that critical ingredient, and we also lost our heart health. The intent was preserving heart health. We lost heart health. So it's something we all must remember. Unfortunately, Americans eat a diet now that doesn't contain much fat or doesn't contain healthy fats, and it contains an abundance of sugar. So it's something that needs to be undone from those bad lessons that were applied to us in the 60s, 70s, 80s that we still haven't forgotten. And the reason, what reminded me of this, my sister was just visiting me, and she still was looking at a low-fat product. And I tried to explain to her, hopefully successfully, that the secret to our health isn't low-fat. And that's something that I think we all need to learn. And the fats that we're talking about here, the omega-3s, most people don't realize that 2/3 of their brain is fat. The dry weight of the brain is 2/3 fat. And the principal ingredient in our omega-3 is the DHA. It's the secondary ingredient in most omega-3s, the primary one in ours. That's what comprises all of that fat. The retina of your eye, the most concentrated source of the omega-3 DHA in our body, the retina. That's, again, something that when we eat these diets that are not abundant in omega-3s, especially DHA, it's no wonder we have consequences in terms of our heart health, in terms of our brain health, in terms of our eye health.
I think, and Andrew, I know you won't mind me saying this, I think it's important to share, you know, Andrew, in his life and his career, has really made it a priority to be out there and to help us understand. So this moment in time right now on the Monday Night Show is more than just, here's a special offer on Andrew's award-winning omega-3s. It's about helping us understand what we need to do. And as Andrew will tell you, it's about understanding that we need to be supplementing our diet with omega-3. Now, when you take that and you twist it and turn it and say, well, hang on a minute, okay, I understand, so now why should I buy Andrew Lessman vitamins? I just want to say that me being here at HSN for 10 years, knowing Andrew, understanding the product, using the product, Chelsea uses the product, my entire family uses the product, my mom stocks up when she's over from the UK, there is no finer vitamin that money can buy, and that is my heartfelt opinion. So, and I'll say it, if you only buy one thing from the show tonight, I would encourage you to buy this. Andrew, I'd like to address one issue, because I spoke to a few people backstage, and they had suggested that in years gone by, they had, for example, tried other brands of omega-3, but they stopped taking it because of stomach issues, because of the fishy taste. How does your product compare to that?
Well, I always joke around and say the reason why, because people say we never see advertising for your products. We only see your products at HSN or on your website. You know, why don't you advertise? And I always say, well, I don't have to, because my best advertising is everyone else's product.
Yeah.
That if you try someone else's omega-3 products, you will immediately understand the difference between theirs and mine. If you read their labels and really understand the difference between my label and their label, my purity, the fact that the product will not upset your stomach, that it'll be easy to swallow, and that when you really compare quality products, mine are less expensive.
Right.
That I always say it's really not even fair to compare us to our competition, because there really isn't a comparison, and it sounds condescending to say that, but it's scientific and it's factual. And our products, the experience of our product is what makes them as popular as they are, because most of my products, they are the #1 reorder products at HSN. Yeah. And it's not the first sale that determines whether a product's a good product. It's whether you get it home and whether you choose to reorder it over and over again. And this is a product, as you alluded to before, that it's got thousands of reviews, not dozens or hundreds, which would be impressive. It's got thousands of reviews, and over 90% of them are positive, and I think almost 90% are 5-star reviews.
Yes, yes.
That speaks volumes about a nutritional supplement. Most people don't get that excited about nutritional supplements. Right. They usually just get disappointed.
Right.
This is a product that gets people passionate and excited, and it's a great way to remind us every day that fats are our friend.
Yes.
They are not our enemy, and they're a key to a good, healthy diet. In fact, the quality of the fat in our diet is what is really determinative of the health of that diet. So it's something to look for and not to look and avoid.
Andrew, I am so grateful that you were able to do this for us with our wellness break, to speak to the Monday Night Show viewers. I know you have a big Today special coming up in just a couple weeks. Thank you so much, and I no doubt will hopefully see you very, very soon.
I look forward. Take care, Adam. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Andrew. Folks, we do see you there. Please bear with us. We're trying to take as many calls as we can. This is a special that Andrew has done for us just for our 2-hour show tonight. If you go online, you'll see all of his other wonderful vitamins, but let me just explain. For those of you that want to dip your toe in the water, normal price $21.90 for 30 caps. Our price right now is $14.90. You're saving money. If I jump down to the most popular choice, always is $3.60. This is the one which gives you the most bang for your buck. Normal price is $159. If you order it before the show ends, $99. That saves you a massive $60. People think I'm nuts, but if I see somebody, I'm out, and they're taking vitamins, I stop them. I say, have you tried Andrew Lessman? Folks, if you are taking omega-3s, I encourage you to try this. If you're not taking omega-3, oh my gosh, you need to take it.